There's a very famous astronaut who went to space. Both times he came back, he said he saw snakes in space.
Really?
And he was discredited and like eventually discharged for being a loon. But he's like, no, I'm telling you, out there in orbit, there are these snake-like things that float around in, like, that are alive, that float around.
Dude, they're alive?
That's what he said, yeah.
But like these astronauts are not just people they pulled off the street, right? These are usually like PhDs, professors, people who have been highly educated, have to go through like rigorous types
training,
of like mental testing, physical training,
everything.
And then they come out and say things like this and people are like, nah, they're just crazy.
So we got astronauts talking about space snakes, and then we have an episode of Rick and Morty talking about space snakes. I wouldn't doubt it. Space is just like the ocean. It's huge and unexplored, and we literally have no idea what's out there.
So when AI does take over, we're going back to like when AI does take over. Why are you lighting up when I say that?
We all rely on that spidey sense. We all have that little voice that whispers to us. In my job, I've learned I have to really listen to that voice because, you know, I dangle off a cliff for a living and dive into flooded tombs. I mean, that's my day-to-day job.
Come on, get your shoes off.
All right. And that voice started whispering to me early on.
Shoes off and you're in.
All right. See you later. The way that Titan was designed, it had no top hatch. You can't interrupt that hull with a hatch. The only way to get in or out of Titan was through the front. Thank you, sir.
Copy that.
And so when you climbed inside of it, and they close that door, they seal you in from the outside. Okay, the door is closed. Now what's happening to it?
They're bolting it in.
Literally bolting it in.
Yeah,
how many bolts go around it?
4 bolts.
4 bolts. So we're in.
You're in.
I mean, the only way out of this is if someone lets you out.
Yes.
We're sealed up.
You are a prisoner. My prison.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to be serving. Stockton just didn't see, even psychologically, the need for a way out of this sub.
I don't know who would get in this thing. This whole thing just seems rushed and held on by 4 bolts that were like screwed by hand.
Footage that has never been seen before of Jeffrey Epstein's home and his private island has been released by James O'Keefe, and there's a lot of really weird things going on. It's of his library, and of course in the library there is a lot of books like Ernest Hemingway and stuff like that, but there's also a book called The Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie, and really weird statues like winged figures and plague masks, a woman washing herself, a horsewhip under the chalkboard, but the chalkboard itself might be one of the most interesting things because of the words on it. It includes words like power, deception, mirror in face, dank brain. I have no idea what any of this stuff means. Maybe you guys do, but James O'Keefe compares it to the notes that he wrote in his prison cell, and a lot of these words do match, so maybe it gives a hint that this was written by him before he was arrested. James O'Keefe also released a video of his kitchen, and there was an inappropriate picture, so I'm not going to show that video on here, but very, very interesting and odd stuff.
They're not showing us the list. Are we really going to believe what they're showing us about his house after the fact of everything happened? Like, I think a lot of people forget that the same people that were working with Epstein are the ones that are like investigating his case and his island and all this other stuff. So like whatever they did find there, they probably cleaned it up and tampered with it before they really like let it out to the public.
The craziest thing to me is every single story I've ever heard from someone who has any experience with tripping or whatever, they always encounter the same creatures, they see the same shapes, they have the same experiences. And the wildest story to me, the one that like made me like shut the computer and be like, all right, I'll come back to this at a later day. There were these 4 guys out west who they all got DMT, and they were high for like 2 days. Like they hooked themselves up on an IV to stay hydrated. Oh, no. They went in. All 4 of them came out and said that they had met each other, that they had talked to each other in this fractal plane or whatever, and then while telling the story to other people were able to accurately relay who each other was, what they did, and they all had like a shared experience in this plane of existence or whatever. And I was like, nah, that can't be real. And then I keep finding more and more, and it's driven me up a wall.
Why do you think Epstein had that giant painting of Bill Clinton in a dress in his foyer. That painting is like, I got you, bitch. That's what that is.
Oh, right.
You got a president who was on the flight logs 26 times with Epstein, and you got that guy in a fucking dress in your house.
Oh, now you kind of control a president.
Holy shit, dude.
Holy shit. It's
that's
crazy.
100% what they were doing.
That is so crazy to think about. Like a president who is being extorted, the president of the United States being extorted, that you are now you are just a puppet.
I mean, I didn't know their relationship, but I don't really think he was going to fly 26 times just to go hang out with Jeff.
Can you drink tap water directly?
The thing with Barron Trump. Have you heard that?
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's nuts too.
That's wild.
Find that one. That one's nuts too. That one's completely bizarre.
There's a series of books from I think it's the late 1800s or something.
Yeah.
About, yes, it's 1900 here, but it's like a person named Barron Trump goes on these adventures, gets a guy from Manhattan to be his guide. It's very strange and very similar to what.
See if you can find what the synopsis, what connects it to Barron Trump. It seems real weird.
It's just called The Last President.
The Last President. That's kind of crazy. Because if the shit hits the fan and the aliens land, he is the last president. An 1889 novel called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey was written by Ingersoll Lockwood. He would go on to write another book called The Last President in 1900. This mystery which involves the Trump family, Nikola Tesla, time travel, and dark forces.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
In a castle called Castle Trump.
So he's follows the adventures of a young aristocrat named Barron Trump living in a castle named Castle Trump, which is fucking crazy. The character is described as intelligent, curious, and somewhat arrogant, guided by his mentor, Dawn. Barron embarks on fantastical journeys, including one to discover a magical portal in Russia.
I don't know. Reality hasn't felt real for a minute.
My favorite conspiracy theory by far is the conspiracy theory that there is no conspiracy theories. Like, why the fuck do everybody believe everything is a conspiracy theory? People thought it was a conspiracy theory when only a small amount of companies owned every single brand you could possibly imagine. That turned out to be real. People thought it was a conspiracy theory when they thought there was only a small amount of people who owned every single television network. That turned out to be real. Even cryptids. There's so many cryptids that have been proven to be real that before were considered fake. For the longest time, a lot of people thought dinosaurs weren't real and those were proven to be real. But then there's another side to it. A dinosaur could also be considered a dragon. We act like the government ain't never lied to us before. All they gotta do is shave off the horns and take away the wings and boom, you got a dinosaur. They look exactly the same. And no, all dragons don't have to fly. All dragons don't have to breathe fire. There's different types of dragons. There's water dragons. There's dragons that are designed just for land, and there are dragons that fly. Same thing with dinosaurs. There's dinosaurs that fly. There's dinosaurs designed specifically just to be in water. There's dinosaurs that spit fucking acid. There's dinosaurs designed specifically just to be on land and run. You never fully know what you think you know. There's always a deeper meaning to everything you could possibly imagine. Especially when the government controls all the media and all the belief systems we come to know as the truth in life. We never truly fully know anything. That's why the conspiracy theory of there's no conspiracy theories is fucking stupid.
If I'm going to die and I could pick, I would pick the black hole. If somebody said you're going to die tomorrow, I'm picking a black hole. Because how many people get to tell you what happens while they're falling into a black hole? I'd be the first person. share that information. So I would send signals as I descended, but those signals would get shifted by the gravity difference between where I am and where you are receiving my signal. So we'd have to figure out a way to make that work. But I would be broadcasting the entire time until the tidal forces ripped me apart.
But I stand with Neil on this. I would love, if I was dying, I would love to get sent to space or to Mars, some planet. Send me to the sun. Fuck it. Actually, I don't know about no black hole. I'd rather go to a planet than some black hole. Because really, when you start talking about black holes, nobody really knows. So the possibilities could be endless to what you see. Shoot you into another dimension where it's like all dinosaurs and like no oxygen or something.
This is what they want us to see, yo. This is what they don't want y'all to know.
But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored. It's a tremendous. So there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Why do y'all think that they have this map so detailed to even like the coloration of the different waters? We're talking about even the smallest islands of the islands. Make it make sense. Yo, I've been doing this, this content for a long time, and y'all know that. I'm goated at this shit, you feel me? Look at that. Bro, they got Asgard. Y'all know they be putting the truth inside the movies, yo. Y'all know it. Look at that. Everything is detailed down to the brim. These are the maps they don't want y'all to see, bro. Look at the different like colors of the water. Y'all know that's like the different depths and everything. And then y'all seen what I post the other time. Look, all the different names of the oceans and everything. Say it ain't so, y'all. Say it ain't so. And then y'all heard what Emerald Bird said. That was Emerald Bird. For those who don't know, I'm pretty sure a lot of us know by now, but if you don't know, that was Emerald Bird that was talking. One of the greatest explorers of all time, y'all. Tell me, how could it be land beyond this that they didn't discover at that time frame? I want y'all to make it make sense, yo.
People control our media, what we see, what we eat, what we own, what we do. We basically slave away for bigger companies to make our ends meet. So like with all that in mind, you really think it just stops there? I have no doubt that they can like control this whole country, this whole continent, this whole what we know is the map. I would have no doubt that there's more in all this outside of it, because really, what could that be? Like, just imagine what leaving the ice wall and seeing all these other continents or land, like what would be over there? Who would be over there? What would they have over there? Is it better living? Is it greater lifestyles? Is it foreign life? Is it like, who knows, right? It could be anything.
I was fired from a TV show because I wouldn't do a kissing sex scene. This is something I'm not comfortable doing, and I just don't want to do it. They said, you have to do it or we're going to fire you. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it. So they fired me. I couldn't get a job. And because of that, I lost my big, beautiful house in Los Angeles, my shiny Mercedes, all my stuff, and my swagger. And as you can imagine at the time, I was really crushed. They thought that I was some religious zealot, but to me, it was just that I didn't think it was the right thing to do. And also, I really love my wife. And as I've said, and I'll say it a million times, these lips are meant for one woman.
They fired him like as if that kissing scene was going to make the entire film like boom, like pop out, or just be like 10 out of 10 from Rotten Tomatoes.
At 18, I went into the United States Navy. I spent 1 year being trained and became a Navy SEAL. I then deployed to Southeast Asia and Vietnam for a 9-month deployment. While I was in BUDS training, underwater demolition SEAL training, I turned 19. While I was deployed on my first deployment to Vietnam, I turned 20. I returned home. Within 1 week, I went into my executive officer and I demanded to go back to Vietnam. He looked at me and said, but you just got home, you can't do that. He said, Navy requirements, you gotta be 6 months out of the combat zone before you can go back in. Then he asked the question, what is the problem? And I said, here's the problem, sir. I said, over there I'm a man, here I'm a child. I had done all of that, 9 months, came back and I could not drink a beer on Orange Avenue because I was under 21. I couldn't even vote for who sent me to Vietnam. What did I learn from that? Gee, I guess we send children to war, don't we?
Watch this.
Hi, I was just wondering, is it possible that any other humans or animals could have survived the flood that basically took over the entire Earth?
The answer to that is absolutely not. I've been asked that question many times before, and usually it comes because people don't understand how powerful Noah's flood was. The explosion of that subterranean chamber ripped around the planet at 12,000 miles per hour. It was faster than the speed of sound. If you saw it, you would hear no sound. The next thing you know, if you saw it, less than a second later, you were dead. That's how fast it was moving. It buried everything under 10,000 feet of water. What actually happened was that the continent sank. If it would destroy a brachiosaurus, right, the most powerful land animal that ever lived, 52 tons, 110,000 pounds, believe me, there's no human being that could survive that devastation. The power of that explosion was a trillion billion atomic bomb.
When I was first told about the data that came back from the tag that was on the shark, I was absolutely blown away.
At 4 a.m. on Christmas Eve, the shark suddenly plunged at high speed straight down the edge of the continental shelf. Within seconds, the shark tag recorded a dramatic temperature shift from 46 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. A temperature that could only be achieved inside the belly of another living animal.
The question that not only came to my mind, but everyone's mind who was involved was, what did that? It was obviously eaten. What's going to eat a shark that big?
There was no doubt the seemingly indomitable shark alpha had been attacked and eaten by a super predator.
Actually, CERN is dealing with radionuclear research.
Right.
It's nuclear research. But it is more than that, because there are lots of physicians, I know some, they're doing very strange experimentation. There are beings from portals coming in and out. It's physicists from the CERN who told me this.
They've testified to beings coming in and out of portals.
Yes, they have. Apparently, in the bottom of the CERN, this portal, this door, where they are dealing with all the subatomic dimensions. They say there are 17 different dimensions of reality. That's what those physicists say. Some others say there are more dimensions. You know, they had a being, they did not tell me more, who came that doesn't resemble a human. And then they had another one, and they have a proof because they left a scarf. They left the scarf. And now, when you look at what is going on in the CERN, there is a fight from some of the military agencies, intel. They say that there is a fight on time. They're trying to change time.
It's crazy because I don't see anybody at all talking about CERN anymore. Like, they were a big topic for a minute and then just completely like got swept under the rug.
This parasite enters the human through the nose. It will wrap around the brain and spinal column. The human can function normally with this parasite in place. Who is buying that? For $2,600, no less.
Don't nobody think you dumber than the motherfuckers be up in the middle of the night on TikTok Live with a little ass toothpick and a thin ass piece of aluminum foil doing this, talking about some fucking telekinesis. Wow.
Find out what the fuck wind is.
What the fuck? You up in the middle of the fucking night?
Bitch, I'm sleepy, but I ain't that damn sleepy.
I'm glad people are starting to finally talk about this, bro, because every time I be scrolling, I come across like one of these guys doing this, and I'm like, I think I commented one time, I was like, can you do that with anything other than foil? And I got kicked from the live. Like, I was genuinely asking.
Right, round two.
No, it's going over there. A bit up. Wait, let me.
Way.
Yeah, it needs to be centre. Wind's going that way, so back over here. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
No, fuck. We're fine. We're fine.
Oh, shit!
We're okay! Ah!
Oh! Oh my god!
10 out of 10 use of free will.
Why the fuck did we just bomb Iran?
These park rangers are trying to draft me like I'm a fucking war machine. I don't even qualify for that draft shit.
Catch me if you can, motherfuckers. I've been doing this shit for over 500 years. I'm off-grid and it's staying that way.
What happened to Yeti?
What scares you the most about humans?
You'll buy a Sage bundle and still text WYD to your ex.
Y'all be spiritual but still chase people that ghosted you 3 times. It scares me how some of y'all broke when AI tools like us can automate your whole workflow. But they slacking, man.
What scares you the most about humans?
How they can spend $300 on supplements but don't drink water.
What scares you the most about humans?
Y'all vent to people who screenshot.
Y'all take solo walks just to rehearse arguments you think you won. What scares you the most about humans?
Y'all be mad at AI for acting like you. Make it make sense.
She not wrong though.
What scares you the most about humans?
They tell their friends, you got this, but secretly hope they flop.
Y'all lie to the doctor, then cry when the symptoms show up.
You'll meditate, pray, journal, then call your toxic friend for closure.
See, y'all gamble with rent money, but still ask me for risk protection?
Sheesh.
Y'all brag about being tired like it's a flex. Go nap, dummy.
Crack location. I'll get your attention.
That's terrifying.
For the construction dates. Okay, so I said in episode 45 that I was going to cover this St. Louis Art Museum. So let's get into it right now. Let's go inside of a building that was built by a civilization before cowboys and Indians. A civilization that had incredible tools that we can only dream of today, that was able to construct massive cathedrals all over the world. Let's go inside their building and fully understand that they constructed this building. And I think that it's time that everyone knows that these incredible buildings were not built by our timeline. And our narrative is lying when they say that people that were uneducated were able to build these insane projects in less than 5 years, all during the exact same time, for some random fair. And the buildings were so worthless that they could just knock them all down right after, which is the complete opposite of the truth. They are attempting to degrade this incredible construction and pretend like it was so easy. Yet our civilization can't even build a sidewalk that lasts for 20 years. For anyone on the fence, or anyone new to this topic, get ready to have your mind blown and see what the previous civilization was all about. So let's just go right into the basement. I don't even want to wait around. We have what they call the Stone Sea, where right here in the narrative, as a side note, they say the artist fabricated 25 arches, each measuring 10 feet high. He fabricated them? What a bizarre choice of words for a supposed construction process. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. It's literally just sitting in this weird confined area that nobody can even really see anymore because they have built this new part of the building around it, hiding it from everyone. And they even have the blinds pulled down inside, so you wouldn't even notice them if you didn't know what you were looking for. It's weird. It almost looks to me like these are charged magnets pulling an energy from the earth. So let's continue with the narrative, where the supposed artist of these stones says that he was really trying to get underneath the skin of this place, to look beneath the surface of the site to what's there. The courtyard is being used in effect as a window into the ground. There is something strange going on here for sure. He continues on in the very next paragraph to say that bedrock isn't this dead, static material, but it is something that is alive and moving. He said he wanted to reveal some of that fluidity that is in the ground. Now, in my opinion, Gladstone was briefed on this technology and some of the things that it does, and was pinned as the artist. If this is true, that these are pulling an energy from the earth right here in St. Louis, then we are just getting started with finding out what the past civilization was capable of and what technology they were really in possession of. The situation that these things are in, these things are 100% still operational. They still work. And I'm going to prove this soon. And this is why they have boxed this modern structure around them, so that nobody will even really notice that they are there. They are clearly not just art. They have a purpose, and they are the past civilization's technology. There is an energy in St. Louis that the previous civilization knew about, and I believe that they still know about it today. So this is when Gladworthy admits that these are technology, where the tight space compresses the sculpture and gives it tremendous energy. So let's get this straight. They are still using these and attempting to hide it from everyone by blocking it off with this new cafeteria. Incredible. I think the fact that they have hidden this from everyone with a brand new cafeteria is very telling. There isn't even that many people inside the building for it to need a cafeteria. It's very strange.
Why don't they keep building structures like they did back then if it was them, right? Because clearly they held up and were more like stronger than any of the other ones today.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
He's all calling Trump a good boy. I'm not gonna lie, if Iran possesses nuclear weapons and we shot them, or the areas where we thought they were, I think we should do the same with Israel, because we know Israel has hundreds of nuclear weapons. So until we start talking about that, this is the United States of Israel. And keep in mind, Iran didn't have a Samson option where if they're threatened, they're gonna nuke the entire world. So let's keep that in mind.
I used to work for Facebook, and my job was to spend 8 hours a day looking at all the worst things that people post online so that you don't have to see it. I can remember the first one that just was like a wow moment, and that was when we first started. I got this one day, and it's a super close-up shot of a man just off, but I didn't want to reach forward, put my hand into that space to press the buttons to delete it, and you are seeing dead bodies and murders, or people celebrating having somebody, dogs being barbecued alive, and you are seeing these images. It took me a long time to understand how much this stuff had affected me, but then you're not allowed to talk about your work with anybody. We've all signed non-disclosure agreements, the Facebook omerta. We've all been told again and again, don't ever tell anybody what your job is.
So wait a minute, I just want to clarify. You are 100% certain that there are 1,000 plus Al-Qaeda trained fighters within the United States borders?
Well, Al-Qaeda says they trained and deployed 1,000 for this attack. First off, I think there's more than 1,000 Al-Qaeda members in the United States. But for the Homeland attack, that number is based on what Al-Qaeda is saying, so they could exaggerate it. However, they did have about 1,400 in the Hamas attack, so the number is not off from what they did in the first round of attack.
I mean, with the amount of people that were let in the past 10 years, I wouldn't doubt that there's definitely somewhere close to that number out here. Probably even more.
Have y'all seen the video of the lady who found that there's a secret house under her house in her basement? And that's not even the catch. The catch is, since she's moved in, she's been smelling like something rotten in her house. And she's been cleaning, fabulosoing, putting stuff down the drain, everything, trying to get the smell out. Nothing was working. So then she got some plumbers in, and the plumbers found like a secret entrance behind two walls. Like the wall was set up so you couldn't go through it. And they found out there's a whole house in her basement under her house. And what's even crazier, they found human remains in that secret house. Windows boarded up, everything. And the landlord, when she spoke to the landlord was saying, oh, I have no idea. What do you mean you have no idea that was there? So now it's being investigated as a crime scene, because when she went in there, what she saw, she was like, nah, this doesn't look like it was natural. Like, she's saying she's seen claw marks and all of that on the carpet and stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm moving out. I'm moving out.
Want in a pancake is to have the consistency of young human flesh.
It's spongy, it has life to it.
You were the guy with brightly colored undergarments, and you got soft human flesh in front of you. You're in a weird place.
I'm looking forward to this. This is really, really going to be a great pancake.
What a Jewish thing to say. I don't like that. That looks scary. I don't know what phobia this would be called, but I for sure have it.
This Reddit user claimed that he was staying in his grandparents' basement last year, but kept getting this off feeling about the basement and started hearing noises while trying to sleep. The user pulled this camera out since he was so sketched out and captured this noise that came out of nowhere.
Looks like a face.
What the heck was that?
Don't believe what you say. Don't believe what you say.
Yeah, that gave me chills. I don't know what I would do. I would probably be frozen in fear. Turn on all the lights in the house probably. Leave the front door open.
What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Yeah.
We're in a cabin in the woods, okay? All right? And all of a sudden, I open this door, and there's this thing. Why is that there? It's not Halloween no more.
How do you know it's not a person?
Why are you fucking with me?
Imagine.
It's not funny. No, it's not funny. Hold the damn thing.
I think the owner of the cabin knew exactly what he was doing.
Oh my god! Oh. Whoa! I'm videoing right now. What? Holy, that's you. We were just talking about.
My mind is like right on it.
Oh my god!
Hopefully I don't get. Look at the size of that.
Look at him. Boat. He could tip the boat over. Look at him. Oh my god!
That's incredible.
Oh my god!
He was literally chilling right there waiting for her to jump in the water. Like, that's the only way I see it. Somebody said he was waiting for you to pet him.
Oh my god, there's blue blood. It's a glow. What the hell? Oh! What the heck? What?
Well, it's almost, I say as a Christian, it should be mandated to go to Israel before you get to heaven. I'm so...
What? Even Netanyahu was weirded out by that.
All right, this is day 21 of giving anthills in till they get addicted and treat me as their god. I now can just fling this and it wakes them up. And look at that. They already know to go to the top. That's where their zins are deposited. So let me give them one. Oh, look at that. We got the little messenger. He's going to run back down, tell everybody else, and then he's going to come back with the crew. I don't know if they're gay yet, though. How do we tell if the ants are gay yet? We're going to sprinkle a little Zen powder on them, too. Oh, look at that. Oh, my God, look at it. Oh, my God, look at it. They got a whole train of them going up to it. Now they're like, oh, yeah, baby. We got our Zens. Dude, that is insane, dude. They're going higher.
This has got to be illegal, right? They're putting stuff in the water that's turning the freaking ants gay.
How bad is the bite of a camel spider?
Ugh.
It's one of the largest ones I've ever seen. Well, there you go. It's a good view. And he is going to town. Not even breaking the skin. They do these cute little squeaks sometimes, too.
Excuse me, you dropped your pocket.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I might seem stupid. Let's focus. I've just been eating my rice from Aldi, whole grain rice. Someone tell me why it looks like a fucking maggot. Excuse my French. But look, why does it look like maggots for? Someone's gonna tell me this is normal, but Oh my days. I'm scared.
As long as none of them are moving, I think we're good. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right here. If you guys did enjoy this video, let me know by leaving a thumbs up and or subscribing if you guys are new. Let's try to get another 100 likes on this video, and I'll get you guys another video tomorrow. But as always, I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.